Coming up on LUTV News. It's prom season, and many high school girls are looking for the perfect dress. And if you can't afford a new dress, how about a lightly used one? There's a group in St. Louis making prom dreams come true. Plus, Lindenwood student journalist Kayla Drake is making tremendous strides as she works her way to a degree. We'll talk to her to see what it takes to become a professional journalist in a new digital world. And the first state capitol is loaded with history, but do you know where it is and what it looks like? Those stories and more ahead on LUTV News. Welcome to this edition of LUTV News. I'm Tyler Cohane. Being a student journalist means writing articles and creating videos 24/7, but each project makes the student better. I talked with Kayla Drake, a journalism student with a YouTube page and a drive for success. Kayla Drake, a student journalist at Lindenwood University in St. Charles, graduates in 1 year. Then, she will begin her professional career as a journalist. During her time at Lindenwood, she was able to write many articles, host her own podcast, and create videos for lindenlink.com, the university's news publication.
I'm a multimedia producer, which means I'm in charge of the podcasts that we make and the videos.
And then, do you know who the president of the university is? Because that's the breaking news right now.
I got stopped by security guards. Then they asked me to leave.
But I think I'm passionate about journalism because it provides people an avenue to see different perspectives.
So basically, this is what I got kicked out of the cafeteria.
It's like a window into the world that someone can never see before. Whether you have a different socioeconomic status or level of education, just it provides you a window into different areas of the world. Politics, health.
Oh yeah.
Travel, everything. So I think at Lindenwood, we have a small enough program to where I get a lot of opportunities and I get to just baptism by fire, like do it all at once.
Many of Kayla's videos have been turned into web stories. She's also had the opportunity to turn her podcast, Tatted, into a YouTube video as well.
Or like defining people's different.
So my only journalism internship has been at KMOV. And so at KMOV, it's been really sweet, honestly, to be able to walk in there and say that under my belt, I have talked to 100 people, interviewed them, and I have used all of them as sources, and I have written over 100 stories, edited extensively of video and audio, and I know how to use iNews. That feels really good, and I can tell my confidence helps them trust me.
At Lindenwood, Kayla was able to get hands-on experience like working for the school's television channel as well.
Get your hands dirty. The saddest thing that I hear about a journalism student graduating is that they never wrote a piece for the student newspaper. And if they did write a piece for the student newspaper, they did the bare minimum, the class requirement, the 300, 400 word stories that they needed. And that's their portfolio. That's the saddest thing. I really like intimate profiles, documentaries, because like I was talking about with that window, it can humanize people. You know, humanize a larger issue, whatever that is that I find out.
You can find Kayla's videos on her YouTube page by searching Kayla Drake. You can also follow her on Twitter at _Kayla Drake. Prom season is quickly approaching for many high schoolers. With prom comes many girls' search for their perfect dress to wear to the dance. For some, it can be a little difficult to get that dress. The Fairy Glam project has stepped in to help those girls get their dream dress. Video journalist Taylor McDaniel got the story on this project.
So I started the Fairy Glam project about 11 years ago with just 2 personal dresses out of my own closet to help a couple of girls that were in need. And since then it has grown ever since. At the beginning we would do application process and asking girls like, why do you need a prom miracle? And some of the stories were just so heart-wrenching. I felt that the Fairy Glam Project was a way for us to be able to provide dresses free of charge to girls in the community that really need it, because prom is like your wedding before your wedding, and you want to go and you want to feel and look beautiful. So when girls come in, they are paired with a personal shopper, get to pick out a dress. We also have accessories. If they don't find what they need that's free of charge, we also have a paparazzi vendor here that is here selling jewelry. All jewelry is $5 a piece. We have a nail tech here that's doing gel nails for free, and we also have a Mary Kay consultant. A lot of it's friends and family and just word of mouth. People in the community, I'll put out something on Facebook and they come.
I decided to come volunteers because I like helping people and seeing the smiles on these girls' faces whenever they are able to get their dresses, and for them to be happy that they are able to have the opportunity to get a free dress, and it's for a good cause also.
I wanted to participate and be a part of it. So helping these women, ladies look good in their prom dresses, as well as finding a piece of jewelry that'll complement their dress.
Today, for instance, we had a young girl who wasn't going to go to prom or didn't go last year because she was like a manic depressive. And so I feel like we helped her come out of her shell when she came here, because we cheer for the girls once they have on their dresses. We love on them while they're here. They're just very, very appreciative. I also read one of the thank you cards, and the young lady was just so thankful that we had it, because otherwise she was going to wear her dress from last year. And we know as women that is a fashion no-no. So I'm just happy that we were able to do that for her.
Do you have one or more dresses you would like to donate to a girl in need? The Fairy Glam Project is now accepting dress donations. Head to fairyglamproject.org for a complete list of locations to drop off dresses. Straight ahead on LUTV News. Many know that St. Charles was home to the state's first capitol, but many of those same people can't correctly identify the building. We'll show you where it is and the history it holds when we come back.
Captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh.
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah, I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think so.
Yeah?
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. A lot of people know that St. Charles was home to the first state capitol, but what many don't realize is that the original building is still there and full of great history. Video journalist Michael Bird has the story.
St. Charles is home to many great attractions for all kinds of people. Bars and shops line Main Street, but for those looking for a more historical flair, might like to visit the first state capitol. But where is it? Some might think that this grand building is the first state capitol, but it's not. This is the St. Charles County Executive Office. The first state capitol is a rather unassuming place. Tucked between the tourist center and another little shop is the old Peck Brothers trading post, and above it is where the first state legislators met to shape the future of Missouri.
Things were distinctly different, and the more we can give people the feel of what it was like then, I think the more we accomplish. People will walk into this room and many times say, oh, that's very interesting or whatever, because of the way it's set up and so forth.
There isn't much to it, just 2 rooms with old chairs. But in the first few years of the state, this had to be the place to meet, as Jefferson City didn't even exist yet.
St. Charles was decided to be the temporary capital in 1820. And in the Constitution, we put that the capital of Missouri must be on the Missouri River within 40 miles of the mouth of the Osage River. Well, that is where Jefferson City is. It's not where we are. Jefferson City did not exist yet.
For those dedicated interpreters, there isn't a better place to learn about the past than right here. They took these jobs because they love to envision the past.
I love this time in history. I love to imagine what it would be hearing the wagons coming down the street, the horse hoofs, along the cobblestone, pots and pans clinking off the wagons.
The ability to walk into a place that gives you a feel for something in the past. In my life, I'd rather go backwards than forwards. If I get on a time machine, I want to go back. And the ability to have walked on this street in 1820 would have been quite a thing. I would love to be able to do that.
There is much to do on Main Street, but for an hour, you can learn all about life back in the early 1800s from some dedicated interpreters of history.
Come down, see the Capitol, see where our state started. And coming up in 2021 will be our bicentennial celebration, and this is where we started as a state. This was it.
For LUTV News, I'm Michael Bird.
The site is getting ready for the state's bicentennial in 2021. For information on upcoming special events, visit mostateparks.com/findapark. This LGBT organization is the oldest in the St. Louis area. Let's take a look why they are sustainable till today.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Lovino Tasting Bar in St. Charles has a healthier take on cocktails. Instead of using sugary syrups, they use fruit-flavored balsamic vinegar to sweeten the cocktails.
Lovino Tasting Bar carries ultra-premium extra virgin oils from around the world and balsamic vinegars from Italy. Most importantly, Olivina Colada, a signature drink of Olivino, is made of coconut balsamic vinegar and pineapple balsamic vinegar, healthier choices than the coconut cream and pineapple juice. Miranda Ream, a sales associate, shows us how to make a signature drink. Olivino Tasting Bar has a special and proper way of storing their balsamics and olive oils. For that reason, they are healthier than other store-bought ones. They have over 40 balsamics with all different flavors and 20 olive oils with different flavors.
Honestly, it's a lot easier than people think, switching from using our olive oil from, let's say, Schnucks brand olive oil. There's really no difference other than this is what you're supposed to be getting than when you get it from a grocery store. A lot of the times they'll fib about everything that's in there. And so a lot of the time, the way I use it as a college student is to spruce up my pretty basic meals. So I make pasta, and I use our Tuscan herb olive oil instead of a marinara sauce, because it's, one, I think the flavor is better, and two, it's a lot healthier for you because you're not, like a store-bought marinara sauce has all this sugar and all that stuff, and this doesn't. So I use it as a healthy replacement for flavor and just for health.
So here right now I'm with a customer of Olivino. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Pawani Karka, and we're right now at my favorite hangout spot.
So what do you like about this place?
Well, what I'm drinking right now, it's one of my favorite drinks here. It's called Olivina Colada. It's similar to pina coladas, but much more healthier. So with the health aspect, this has become my new favorite drinking spot.
So what's the difference between a regular one and that one?
So like I said, it's like a pina colada, so it's made with rum and club soda, but all of the flavoring, it comes from balsamic vinegar. So instead of, coconut flavor, pineapple juice, it's balsamic, and I'm cutting off so many calories, so I don't have to put on that extra weight while I'm drinking.
That's really nice. And since when did you start knowing about this?
It's actually recent, but since I've known about it, I'd rather come here than anywhere else. And the prices are also about the same, so it's such a good option.
So one of the big things that we've been incorporating now is our balsamic cocktails. So when people think of cocktails, they think of sugar and they think of calories. And luckily for us, we've discovered that you can actually make cocktails with balsamic instead of sodas or sugary syrups. So we'll take, like, my favorite and probably most popular is our Moscow Mule. So a Moscow Mule generally has ginger beer, vodka, and lime. We do basically a vodka soda with our honey ginger balsamic instead of the ginger beer, which cuts out almost 200 to 300 calories depending on the ginger beer that you use. So ours is about 80 calories compared to 300 to 400 calories, and it tastes just as good, if not better. So just use club soda to kind of brighten up the balsamics and whatever alcohol you want. We have a list of now about 20, and it's always growing. So it's a very cool thing, and it's always nice to be able to know that when you're drinking, you don't have to feel nearly as guilty about it.
For LUTV News, I'm Sandy Licum-Jorn.
Olivino also offers special events such as private cooking demonstrations to highlight the health benefits of olive oils. The Bisexual Alliance of St. Louis, or BASIL, as some people call it, has been meeting for 25 years. It is the oldest LGBT+ organization currently active in St. Louis. Video journalist and BASIL member Michael Bird was at a recent meeting to get the story.
They are the oldest LGBT organization in the St. Louis area, and they have been gathering for years in various locations. Most recently, they have been meeting at the Pride Center in downtown St. Louis. But for one night, some members of the Bisexual Alliance of St. Louis met at a quiet residence in the Central West End.
I'm sort of an outsider. In college, I didn't like the fraternity experience. What did Groucho Marx says? I wouldn't want to be a part of an organization that would have me as a member. but just the idea that human beings could be attracted to both men and women fascinated me and still does. And the meetings have been quite important. At the beginning, it was the stories that people told, the true narrative development of these people, completely fascinating. But as the years went on, it became sort of a more social group as opposed to really exploring human sexuality and things like that. But amazingly, the last meeting I went to really brought it back what a story was. A guy said, when you're dating men and women, do you assume the straight role when you're dating opposite sex, and do you assume the gay role when you're with other men, as opposed to, is there one bisexual identity that would apply to both men and women? I thought that was quite fascinating.
They come from all different backgrounds and have had all sorts of lives. Many members who join find friends, some for the rest of their lives.
I mean, meeting Matt was, I guess they could call that a highlight. So that, because we had met briefly the day before at a non-Super Bowl party that was hosted by another former member of Basil. I guess kind of sort of still member, but he doesn't come to the functions very often, but met briefly there, and then Matt showed up at the Basil meeting the next night, and so from there we got talking more and exchanged email addresses and then phone numbers, and the rest is history 16 years later.
But then there's another little splurge in the fall too.
For these people, being bisexual isn't the only thing in their lives.
I'm the facilitator. I've been the facilitator now since I've most recently moved back to St. Louis for almost 10 years now. It's important. The group helped me when I was first coming out, and I see that having this group around and available is helping a lot of people find either a venue to figure out who they are or find some sort of community where they can see and meet and talk to people who are just like them.
They all have stories to tell and don't care about what a person is like on the outside, just who they are on the inside. For LUTV News, I'm Michael Bird.
There's hummus over there.
Basil just celebrated their 25th anniversary in February. For more information on the group and a list of upcoming events, visit facebook.com/BiAllianceSTL. Next on LUTV News, it looks like the winter weather is finally behind us. But what effect did those frigid temps and icy roads have on local businesses? We'll show you how it's affected stores on historic Main Street in St. Charles when we come back.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Queen is just my everything.
His smile did it. His smile, his eyes, his knowledge. My landlord, he decided that he wanted me to move based on the fact that I was transgender. Let's just respect people in everyday life for just being human.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at savethefood.com.
Welcome back. This year's winter has brought us some of the longest-lasting cold weather our area has seen in some time. Businesses on historic Main Street, St. Charles, say they have noticed customers coming in less and less these days. Could it be due to the lingering chill? Our Taylor McDaniel went down to some of those businesses to find out.
St. Charles' historic Main Street is known for its many different shops and restaurants. People come from all over to take part in the traditions that call this place home. With the long-lasting cold weather this winter had to offer, the businesses located here have all taken a pretty big hit.
There's definitely not very many people walking by. I would say that this year alone we've closed more than we ever have. Normally we close maybe once, probably per winter season. This year we've probably closed at least a solid week, not straight, but of total.
The shops and sidewalks that are typically a hot spot for locals and tourists alike seem to have hit a bit of a dry spell. Businesses are still able to stay afloat, though, thanks to their trusted regulars that come in for their usual visits.
We do have our loyal customers that come in, as you can see at the bar. They do come in and visit and shop.
We've been coming here for like a year and a half. We've become friends, so we just come in to visit and, try new candy, things like that. My son really likes it here.
One of the most well-known shops located on Main Street is Grandma's Cookies. While customers are still regularly coming into the shop for Grandma's famous secret recipe cookies, the owner says she hasn't seen the same business that they are used to having.
I feel like it'll be a lot more busy than it has been in past springs because everybody will be eager to get out and enjoy the weather.
The local businesses have felt the effects of the cold weather and have had to get a little creative with new marketing ideas.
I think of new ideas like drinks and candy to come up with for when it does get busy.
Without these businesses that the community knows and loves, St. Charles just wouldn't be the same. Kids grow up here and have dreams of their futures at historic Main Street. Tell me about how you want to work here someday.
When I'm like 100 years old.
With the temperatures beginning to warm up, head down to historic Main Street and enjoy the splendor that the streets have to offer you. Well, thank you so much for doing my interview. Can I have a high five?
Yeah! Awesome.
The Main Street businesses are looking forward to the warmer days to come. Warmer days bring more people out to Main Street, so they are very excited to see some new faces coming into their shops. That's it for this edition of LUTV News. I'm Tyler Cohing. Thanks for joining us.